Some people, there is a conflict of interest with them. The more you spend, the more they're gonna make.
I am starting a full rehab on a duplex. I have narrowed it down to 2 designers and 2 contractors. What factors should I consider in making my decision? And I'm going to give you the second part of the question. How would you suggest I contract with each job? What advice do you have with your experience?
So I'm going to give you my 10 kind of basic guidelines or rules when I'm going to work with others. Okay, so I deal with designers all the time, contractors all the time, so I totally understand where you're coming from. So number 1, I look for a degree of knowledge and experience. I want to make sure the person is familiar with what we're going to deal with. Are we building from the ground up? Are we doing rehab? Are we doing an expansion? Are they familiar with that? Both the contractor and the designer. So number 1, degree of knowledge and experience, familiarity with the project. Number 2, how ethical are they? How honest are they? How straightforward are they in their communication? You can identify this right away, the BSer from the person who tells you as it is. And I established that like it's like an interview, like a federal regulator interview. You know how a federal regulator, like an FBI agent or SEC regulator interviews you? First, they establish rapport. They just talk to you like, oh, so what's your name? Where are you from? Where were you born? And they're very relaxed to get you to a tone of what they call the baseline of the communication. Okay, and then they throw the tough questions. And with a contractor and a designer, those are crucial, key people, and an engineer, the third one I will tell you, crucial. I established that baseline first. Oh, so John, so you've been doing contracting, so what attracted you to contracting? Oh, you know, since I was a kid, I would just like to put things together and stuff. And then, yeah, but that's the conversation. Then all of a sudden I'll say things like, so will you be able to do this fast? Do you have experience in this in particular? What do you think if we have change orders? How do we handle that? Then I start throwing some difficult questions. And if the person gets stressed, or are they still on the baseline of the communication? Are they speeding up? Do they have the same voice intonation? Are they stressed? And is it me overwhelming them, or is it them trying to hide something, or they're afraid, or they had bad experience with somebody else? And it's important to see that this person is ethical. What they're gonna say, they're gonna do, they're honest about it. They don't want me to play games. Can you give me this cash? Can you give me that? No, we don't want any games. We want everything. We want all of us who want to sleep at night and want straightforward communication. So that's number 2. Number 3, I want to make sure they're gonna be committed to the project and they have some dedication and pride in what they do. You can immediately see the pride somebody has in their job, from the way they dress, to the way they talk, to if they take notes, how they, you know, I've seen people I'm talking to and the guy takes notes, takes pictures of what we're gonna do, explains to me from the picture. They take pride in what's gonna happen. They're committed to the deal. How many deals do you handle? The designer probably is handling 20 deals at the same time. Will you have time for this? Are you committed to doing this? Let me tell you, I'm committed to doing this. Every project for me is very important because this is this. Let them sell you. Then number 4, I want to know that flexibility. What if there are change orders? Are you willing to adjust if I change my mind and sell the property halfway through? Are they trying to improve? You know, would you want to deal directly with the contractor and get to know each other and do this? Yeah. So some people, I'm looking for people who are flexible, willing to adjust and improve. You can immediately find that out. Some people, either are too young and little things throw them off, or they're too old and they're in a box. Like, no, this is the way we do it, and we're not going to deviate from this. No matter. Listen, this is work in progress. So that's number 4, is flexibility and willingness to adjust. Number 5 is I want to make sure they're going to be focused and attentive and responsible to what's going to happen. So they're going to tell me things like, I'm going to tell how often will you check on this? They will say things like, okay, so what I do is I come in twice a week to check on this and that. Or the contractor will say, I come in every morning, I set up the work this way, and this is what I'm responsible for. I'm going to put it all in writing. So number 6, I want to make sure they understand and have the ability to economize and be smart about the cost. You can immediately tell, like my designer said to me, we're going to get these cabinets that are this and that, but I have the factory that is directly from China and they have a place here. If you'd like, let's go to the warehouse, take a look later. Right there, I mean, she's been with me for years, but just right there from early conversations, I realized she understands, because some people, there is a conflict of interest with them. The more you spend, the more they're gonna make. So you don't want them to go in and say, I think you need to put these curtains and this, and this floor and this, because they're going to make certain commissions. And next thing you know, there's a conflict of interest. So I want them to understand and have the ability to economize and be smart about the cost. And I communicate that. Number 7, I want them to tell me ways to maximize the income and value potential. For example, a contractor said to me, in the back area here, a jacuzzi will cost only $6,000, but its value on the resale will be $30,000 to $50,000. That contractor is my hero today. He's got 2 projects. Those are big projects, millions of dollars projects. And because he brought something to my attention that I didn't think of, and he knew the numbers, I'm going to charge you X to get it done. It's going to be worth so much. So maximize income and value potential. A designer can say, you're going to build this hotel. You want these rooms like this. I suggest larger, not connecting doors, but larger sliding doors. So if you do Airbnb, the whole thing opens up and you can make more in the revenue. Wow, beautiful, gorgeous. I didn't think of this. You see? Number 8, do they have the right connections, the right network, the right relationships with the vendors and others and workers? Or are they a solo player? Like this guy comes to me out of nowhere. He tells me he's a big developer, contractor, and he wants to do this hotel projects with me and this. And I said, how many people you have? I'm going to get the team together. What was the last project you've done? He has been out of the business for 3 years because he was with his wife trying to expand their Subway business and all that. Man, you're out of the business. Go get some people. Versus another guy who comes in and says, I have 40 people. I need new projects. I don't want to lose my team. I will be responsible for this, and that. All right. So their connections, network, and relationships. Number 9, do they want to put some skin in the game? Skin in the game is, can I invest with you? What if I do this? Or better yet, if they don't have to invest with me, these people are work for hire. What if they say something like, I want to make sure this will be a great result at the end because I want to take pictures, and if it's okay with you, I'd like to put it in my updated magazine I have on my website. Will it be okay for you? Because it's going to enhance my reputation. Wow, this guy, his skin in the game is his name, his reputation. My designer, her reputation, she put it on her email. I noticed new project and she put the property address. Wow, I love that. So skin in the game could come in from money, from reputation, from matter of, hey, I'm responsible. I want to do more projects with you. And last but not least, I want to make sure the person has some fear of mistakes, fear of misunderstanding, fear of not following the law. Okay. I had a contractor once, he said to me, you need to give me the job because I can get the approval for the windows changed, but then we can cover the facade and I can drop the windows so many inches, nobody will notice when we remove it. Well, that guy is a bit unethical and is not afraid of any mistakes. And I said, no, as God is my witness, he went to do a project to a person that I know. The city caught my friend that used that contractor, and my friend paid 1.2 million because they went and looked at all his contractor deeds that he would buy, rehab, and flip in the city of San Francisco. And guess what? And that was a settlement at 1.2 million because they went to look after each, permit that they got. Permit for the kitchen. But you did flooring, kitchen, and you did the living room, and you did this. Fine of $700,000 on these 3 properties. And then here, fine of another 8. The lawsuit was the guy almost had a heart attack. It was unbelievable for him. So you want to make sure, I'll quickly recap them. You want the people you work with have degree of knowledge and experience, are ethical, honest, and straightforward, committed and dedicated with pride in the work they're going to do, flexible and willingness to adjust and improve. Number 5, focus, attention, and responsible for the work they're going to do. Number 6, ability to economize, be smart about cost. Number 7, ability to come up with suggestions to maximize income or value potential on the project they're doing. Number 8, I want to make sure they have good connections, a good team, good network, and good relationships with others. Number 9, I want to make sure they have some skin in the game, at least their reputation is on the line, they understand that everybody's going to know what they do. And number 10, fear of mistakes, misunderstandings, or anything not done right. Hopefully this list will help you. It helped me a great deal. And thank you for reminding me of it because I used to look at it all the time and now I kind of know it in the back of my head, but it just came back to the forefront. Thank you.